guess what? It's actually happening right now, so check this out. Ripple just dropped this post saying stablecoins become a key part of payments infrastructure. The opportunity to modernize is now. This comes straight from Jack McDonald, who's the senior vice president of stablecoins over at Ripple. He's referencing this fresh report from KeyRock Trading that talks about how stablecoins like USD are about to power a massive $1 trillion in payments. Now, KeyRock's got this whole detailed breakdown, and look, I won't dive into every single detail here because there's honestly a ton to unpack. All right, so here's what I really want to dig into. This whole M2 supply versus stablecoin supply thing. They've got this super detailed breakdown showing the M2 supply and then 3 different scenarios for stablecoins by 2030. Bear case, base case, and bull case. So let's break it down. In the bear case, we're looking at stablecoins hitting 2.6% of M2 supply, which is about 0.75 trillion. The base case, that's 1.5 trillion or 5.19% of M2 supply. And the bull case, get this, 10.4% of M2 supply, which works out to a whopping $3 trillion. Right now, we're sitting at just 1.1% of global M2 supply. What does this tell us? The growth potential for stablecoins is absolutely insane, and that's fantastic news for anyone issuing stablecoins. Now here's how they see it playing out. The bear case assumes things move pretty slowly with conservative expansion and sluggish adoption. But the base case, which honestly feels like where we're headed, has stablecoins steadily growing and really bridging that payment gap, expanding into business-to-business, peer-to-peer, and even point-of-sale payments. That gets us to 5.2% or 1.5 trillion. Then there's the bull case where stablecoin adoption just takes off, unlocking trillions in value through lightning-fast, super cheap payments that get deeply woven into our entire global financial system. And you know what? This could totally happen. You're absolutely right. This could totally happen, especially when you look at how crazy the stablecoin adoption is getting right now. I'm not going to dive into every detail here because there's just way too much good stuff to cover, but I had to bring this up because the adoption and growth of stablecoins is just going to keep picking up steam. Here's what's really caught my attention lately. Traditional finance is jumping headfirst into stablecoins because they're terrified of missing the boat. Perfect example? Citi just made a move. Check this out, Justin. Citigroup is diving into stablecoin custody, payments, and even crypto ETF services, all thanks to the new U.S. legislation that's opening doors for digital assets. And here's the wild part. This is all happening while most people still think crypto is some kind of scam. It's crazy, right? You talk to anyone outside our crypto bubble and their minds immediately go to the bad stuff, FTX drama, the Luna crash, ridiculous meme coins, or they just write it off as fake money. They genuinely don't think it's real. Most people don't get the space at all. Heck, they don't even know anything beyond Bitcoin. Like, when you mention crypto to regular folks, the first word out of their mouth is always Bitcoin. They've never even heard of XRP exactly. They have zero clue about these utility-focused projects, and don't even get me started on stablecoins and how they're literally reshaping our entire financial system. David Schwartz, Ripple's CTO, dropped this brilliant post about what's going down. He pointed out that we're seeing tons of players in payments and stablecoins launching their own blockchains left and right. And his take? That's basically the market screaming blockchain is core financial infrastructure, which, by the way, is exactly what Ripple's been saying and building toward on the XRP ledger for over 13 years now. Here's the thing, though. Launching a blockchain, that's tough. But building an actual ecosystem with developers, real liquidity, trust, and people actually using it in the real world, that's incredibly hard. The XRP ledger has serious momentum and institutional buy-in because it's been through the ringer, constantly updated and improved for more than a decade. It's battle-tested, you know? Now, here's where it gets interesting. Some blockchains are set up with permission validator sets that are basically controlled by one company or just a handful of people. Sure, that gives you control and helps with compliance for specific closed networks, but it totally limits how far you can reach, how resilient you are, and whether just anyone can jump in to help secure and grow the network. Look, the whole centralization versus decentralization debate, it's been going on forever, and honestly, there's no one-size-fits-all answer, especially in crypto where these terms keep evolving right before our eyes. Here's what makes the XRP ledger pretty cool, though. It's public and permissionless right out of the box, but if you're dealing with regulated stuff, You can layer on permission features when you need them. That flexibility is huge because it means the ledger can actually adapt to real-world needs while staying open enough to connect assets, markets, and people across the globe without all the usual headaches. And here's where it gets practical. The XRP ledger keeps fees dirt cheap and predictable. We're talking fractions of a cent, and you don't need some separate gas token cluttering things up. You can pay for any issued asset directly with XRP, which cuts out that annoying step of having to buy yet another token just to make a transaction. XRP itself doesn't rely on any counterparty. Anyone can access it, and it actually serves as a bridge asset with real utility for payments, settlements, and providing liquidity where it's needed. Here's the thing. Every single transaction on the XRP ledger actually uses and burns a tiny bit of XRP, which is pretty elegant when you think about it. What's really exciting is watching these newer blockchains finally catch on to design choices the XRP ledger has had baked in from day one. Things like deterministic finality and proof of authority consensus. It's like the industry is slowly realizing, hey, maybe predictable and reliable settlement actually matters for financial stuff, and we don't need to break the bank on validation costs. The next phase is where things get really interesting. We're talking about bringing way more programmability to the table, compliance features that institutional players actually need, and the kind of deep liquidity that makes everything flow smoothly. And if you're just jumping into crypto now, perfect timing. This tent just keeps getting bigger, and there's room for everyone. XRP as a company has really positioned itself as one of the major forces behind getting stablecoins and payments to actually work on-chain. It's not just theoretical anymore. This stuff is happening. That's exactly why we keep saying Ripple and XRP are going to be 10, maybe even 100 times bigger than they are today. Adoption isn't hitting the brakes anytime soon. Crypto isn't taking a backseat to anything. We're just getting started. No, we're going to see things absolutely take off. Adoption is going to heat up more and more. This is literally just the beginning. But here's where it gets wild. What we're hearing from this administration is next level. Trump recently came out and said the traditional financial system is broken and crypto is going to fix it. I mean, what a time to be alive, right? Now, here's the thing though. Tons of people are going to jump on this and say, oh, he's obviously talking about Bitcoin. It's all about Bitcoin. But listen closely to what he's actually saying.
Many Americans are unaware that behind the scenes, the technical backbone of the financial system is decades out of date, many, many years out of date. You know that. Paul and others are straightening it out, but payments and money transfers are costly and take days or even weeks to clear. Under this bill, the entire ancient system will be eligible for a 21st century upgrade using the state-of-the-art crypto technology. Who would have thought we would have been saying that 2 years after?
So yeah, when you really think about how insane this moment is, they want to tap into crypto, they want to use it, and here's the key part. They want to utilize stablecoins too. Stablecoins are a massive piece of this puzzle, and when you're talking stablecoins, RLUSD immediately comes to mind. Ripple comes to mind, XRP, and the XRP ledger. They're right there in the conversation. But wait, it gets even better. Check out what Eric Trump is saying. Our banking system is broken. Crypto is the future. Crypto is the fastest growing industry worldwide, period. And he's not wrong. The Middle East, all of Asia, South America, they're all sprinting toward cryptocurrency while we're still debating it. We've got a financial system that's completely busted. Think about it. Banks operate 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Try sending a wire at 4:59 on a Friday, and guess what? You're waiting until Monday. These same banks will make you wait 120 days to borrow against your own money, and they've been going after half of Americans just for wearing a MAGA hat. So listen closely to what's really being said here.
Crypto is the fastest growing industry worldwide by far, bar none. Everybody in the world, if you look at the Middle East, if you look at all of Asia, if you look at all of South America, they're all running toward cryptocurrency. I mean, we have a financial system, Brian, that's broken. If you want to send a wire at 4:59 on a Friday afternoon, somebody's not going to get it until, midday Monday. How is our banking system, 9 to 5 Monday through Friday doesn't make any sense whatsoever. If you want to go get a loan, you want to go buy a house, the bank that you've banked with for 25 years will take 120 days to go through a Know Your Customer report to give you your own money, right, to be able to borrow against your own. Our banking system is broken, and then that same banking system has gone after 50% of the Americans because they decided to wear a hat that says Make America great again. We have to change the financial system. We will change the financial system. World Liberty is going to change the financial system. And honestly, I could not be more proud. And we started this company long before my father was elected, long before he won the election, certainly long before he actually got into politics again.
And yeah, this is exactly why crypto is going to completely shake up the entire financial system. When we hear these discussions happening at the highest levels, this is literally what Ripple has been preaching for 13 years straight. This is exactly why we keep coming back to XRP, why we keep talking about Ripple, why RLUSD matters so much. Here's what people need to understand. Ripple is a US-based company that tapped into the XRP ledger years ago. When you look at the talent they've got, like David Schwartz and the other original architects, these guys built XRP and the XRP ledger with one vision. This was going to be the future of finance. They were going to completely revolutionize how money moves around the world. Remember when Ripple coined the term Internet of Value years ago? Everyone thought it sounded cool, but maybe a little too futuristic. Well, guess what? It's becoming reality right now, and stablecoins are the bridge making it all happen. The connections between Ripple and the US aren't some accident either. Ripple's been working with the US government way before this administration even took office. We can trace this stuff back to April 2024. We've posted this image so many times on the channel because it tells the whole story. Shout out to Subjective Views for capturing this. You've got Ripple, Stellar, and a few other major players sitting right there with the US Department of Treasury and Nellie Liang. This wasn't just some casual meet and greet either. They were having a full roundtable discussion about the technical and regulatory requirements for upgrading our outdated central bank money systems. They dove deep into what this could mean for consumers, investors, and businesses. But here's the really big picture stuff. They talked about the long-term vision for weaving CBDCs, tokenization, and stablecoins into the broader U.S. financial ecosystem, and how all of this could boost economic growth and make the system way more resilient. And now we have this administration straight up telling us, hey, the system is completely broken. We need to fix it, and crypto is the main solution to all these problems. Are we really supposed to just ignore these major meetings that Ripple's been part of? The dots are connecting themselves at this point. And by the way, this Treasury meeting, that's just the tip of the iceberg. If you go back to 2017, 2016, 2018, 2019, 2020, there have been countless meetings with high-level executives, organizations, central banks, financial powerhouses like the IMF. Ripple's been sitting at these tables for years, and it's not because they're just another crypto company. In my opinion, Ripple isn't your typical company at all. They're literally one of the architects, not just for the Internet of Value, but for the entire new financial system that's being built right now. The connections are crystal clear, especially with this current administration. Look at some of the major events that have gone down just this year. Back in July, you had Surah Aldarati right there at the ceremony when the Genius Act got signed into law. Brad Garlinghouse couldn't make it, but Ripple was represented at that crucial moment. And then there's Brad Garlinghouse showing up at that crypto hearing about the market structure bill, which is absolutely massive for getting the legal clarity that crypto desperately needs. These aren't coincidences, people, and this is exactly what Brad Garlinghouse was getting at when he talked about what crypto actually needs to transform the financial system. Brad understands something crucial. You can't revolutionize banking. You can't change how money flows globally without getting the right laws on the books first. These bills need to become reality, not just ideas. And honestly, this year has been absolutely wild for regulatory progress. We're seeing actual movement, real discussions, and a bunch of these critical bills are already law now. So when you zoom out and connect all the dots, the speed everything's moving at now, what we're hearing from this administration, all those deep Ripple connections stretching back years, there's really only one way this plays out. Ripple, XRP, the XRP ledger, and RLUSD are about to become central players in both the US and global financial systems. That's not wishful thinking. That's where all the evidence points. And frankly, I'm all in on that vision. I'm absolutely confident in this entire vision of how massive Ripple and XRP are going to become. And don't even get me started on RLUSD. The whole Ripple technology stack from top to bottom is just mind-blowing. It's genuinely incredible what they've built. And when you look at what David Schwartz has been saying, it reinforces exactly why XRP isn't just another crypto project. There's been insane amounts of hate and FUD thrown at Ripple and XRP over the years, and honestly, I think it's because certain people know exactly how powerful this technology stack really is. They see how big this is going to get. This could be way bigger than Bitcoin. Actually, scratch that. It will be way bigger than Bitcoin in my opinion. And that's exactly why Bitcoin maximalists are losing their minds at the thought of XRP getting the regulatory green light, seeing adoption take off, watching Ripple absolutely crush it. It's only going to get more painful for them because I genuinely believe Ripple, XRP, and this entire ecosystem they've built with RLUSD is going to be 10 times, maybe even 100 times more successful than where it sits today. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this deep dive. If you did, smash that like button, hit subscribe, turn those notifications on for more content like this. Thanks for watching, everyone. Peace out.